my last few things ready to go here. Laundry's done. Got the batteries charged and the GoPros. Got the drone charged up. Heading down to Yuma this weekend to do some adaptive wakeboarding. So I just need to get the truck loaded up right now and then head out of here pretty quick. So I'm finally on the road, headed down to Yuma, Arizona to meet up with my buddy Shane to do some adaptive wakeboarding this weekend. Shane and I have been friends since the 5th grade, but this will be my first time going to his place. From what I understand, I guess it's a pretty sweet setup. He has a house like right on the water down there, has his boat there, so should be pretty rad, pretty good weekend. Him and I have been wakeboarding together since high school. I kind of learned with him. And then fast forward to like 2012, he was working at a resort in Parker, Arizona, and hit me up. I lived in California at the time. Was like, hey, I'm thinking about installing a cable park here at the resort. Would you want to come out and run it? At the time, I had a pretty sweet job in California. So it was going to take a lot to uproot and move to Arizona to do that. But I had some time to think about it, and then when it really came down to it, I just thought, like, why not do something I'm really passionate about rather than this job where I'm just punching a clock and I could care less about it pretty much. So made the leap, packed up, moved to Arizona, and started working at the cable park. I was 30 at the time, and trying to keep up with kids that seem to have springs in their legs, Like I said, I wasn't great at wakeboarding, but I knew, the basics. And so I had to get good fast working at the cable. But, being the opportunity to ride every day, picked it up pretty quick and got a decent bag of tricks under my belt. Then in 2016, so I ran the cable for about 4 years, 4 seasons, and then in 2016 I got the opportunity to start selling boats. So I ended up leaving the cable and moved on to sell boats, which was awesome. Still on the water, still wakeboarding, still surfing, doing all the things. And then August of 2017 is when I had broken my neck, and so yeah, that just took me off for a while. I didn't, wakeboarding was the furthest thing from my mind. Like, just, it was just like, how can I hold my kids? How am I gonna get out of bed in the morning? Just the priorities changed. But then as physical therapy progressed and I started getting stronger, I'm watching videos and seeing what other paralyzed people are doing online, and join some like Facebook support groups and follow people on Instagram. You just see like, okay, there still is life after this injury. When I was at the cable park at Wakeboard Island, I had worked with a couple riders that were adapted riders, paraplegics though, so they still had full hand function, which definitely made it a little easier once I found out later. But I'd say 2018, mid-2018, decided to order a seated wakeboard. Hyperlight got me set up with a Murray 150 deck, and then I ordered the seat from a company out of Florida. went back down to Wakeboard Island at the casino and started giving it a go. The biggest hurdle we had was, trying to figure out my hands because I don't really have grip. So I mean, we thousands of pulls it felt like, just pull, fall off the dock, pull, fall off the dock. But then, we started getting a little further out. I'd make it maybe, 50 feet out, whatever. And then finally, one day, everything just clicked, and I was able to start doing full-length runs at the cable, which was huge. I mean, that was the goal. So then, 2019 regatta, I was able to do a full pass at the regatta, and that was awesome. Just, because every year we do a wakeboard competition at the regatta, the Nautique regatta, and to be able to just do that pass in front of all my friends and family was pretty awesome.
You got a new guy's boat. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Anthony's trying again. Yeah, Anthony off the start dock. Anthony Chavez getting in his third time out. Looking amazing. Look at that carve out. Oh, yeah.
But this will be the first time I've been back on my board since the 2019 Nautique regatta. So I'm not sure how it'll go. I feel like I'm a little stronger, but I'm also a little fatter now, so I don't know. And then also, I've never ridden behind a boat on this wakeboard. I did get the opportunity a couple years ago to surf with a group called Wake for Warriors. It's a group that takes out veterans of war, people with disabilities, and gets them on the water, wakeboarding, surfing, whatever, Amazing group of people. The foundation's like just super cool. And you can look them up. Like I said, Wake for Warriors. I'm obviously not a veteran, but it was rad just because I was local and I was right there that they were able to get me out on the water with them and be a part of that event. I think that was 2021 when I did that. So one thing I forgot to mention, on the way down here to the park, you pass through the Yuma proving grounds. I don't know a lot about it. I mean, I can't give you any history or what they do and don't do here. I just know that it's the military training ground. Pretty cool. They got some like tanks and helicopters and different things to see. But yeah, beyond that, I don't really know much about it. Looks like we made it. All right, I think we're gonna do an evening set right now, so looking forward to that. So when I pulled into the park, we went straight from the truck to the dock. Got a chance to meet Kim and Corey. They were the owners of the boat we were on all weekend. From there, Shane and Corey both took a set, and then we just hung out and floated for a little bit. I never realized how beautiful and scenic it was on the lower river down there, so it was really cool to get a chance to experience that. After the sunset session, we went back to the house, got cleaned up, and got things ready for the next day. I didn't realize that day that this GoPro wasn't recording audio, but this is our group from left to right: Kim, Shane, Jackson, and Corey. What was nice about this boat is as steps leading up to the walkthrough and to the swim step, which makes it easy for me to transfer up and to my board. One thing that makes it difficult is the muscle spasms that go along with paralysis. Any paralyzed person knows that this can really hinder your day. When I first started, Shane was strapped into a wakeboard, and the thought was that we could ride doubles if I did get up. That really wasn't working, so then he switched to a surfboard. That also wasn't really working out the way we had planned. So then he ditched the board altogether, held onto the back of my board. With that, we had the best results. I was able to pop up for about 5 seconds on one of the runs. But when he let go, I wasn't prepared for it, so then I bobbled and fell over. At that point, we were both pretty beat, so we hopped into the boat and headed down to Fisher's Landing to grab some breakfast. Driving through the Yuma Proving Grounds now on my way home. Unfortunately, didn't get as much footage as I would have liked to gotten this weekend. Had a really good time with Shane and everybody, but the GoPros had really old batteries in them, and we only got about 30 minutes of recording time, and so that was kind of a bummer. I also didn't realize that because it's a military base, I couldn't fly the drone. The whole area was a no-fly zone, so I didn't want to risk getting anyone in trouble or getting myself in trouble, so I couldn't fly the drone. And then, yeah, I mean, you guys saw what happened with the riding. You know, we got super close. Still just working. You need to work with my... Sorry, I got cut off there. But yeah, so my grip is still an issue, so we need to work through that. And then we came up with some other ideas of how to actually start. There's some sandbars on the lower river down here, so we're talking about maybe even doing a shore style start instead of deep water to see if that's a little easier. So yeah, just some more things we need to work through, and then hopefully get better results next time. But definitely looking forward to it. I had a blast with everybody, and we'll see you guys on the next one.